How you going, monks? Welcome back to the channel. Just going to be going through a patch rundown today. It's a relatively small patch for junglers, or I think in all roles in general, so we'll get right into it. It's going to be a shorter video though. First things first, Kha'Zix is getting nerfed in terms of base armor and his ult upgrade on W. I think this nerf is going to hit him big. Why? Because the champions he was good against, like Viego, Kindred, where you actually had spots to pick him in, you utilized your early game prowess to go 1v1 them, say at level 3, level 4, level 5, level 6. So losing that base armor is going to matter more in the early game, and that's going to hit your early game big. The ult upgrade on W you used to always go for, so the fact that they're nerfing it hurts you very hard in mid and late game. So I think Kha'Zix is going to drop a few, not by tiers, but he's going to drop down lower in the A tier for sure. Master Yi ult increased attack speed buff. I think this is not going to matter too much in higher elos, but in lower elos, this will be significant. Why? Because in higher elos, people know how to layer their CC well, so he won't be able to get ults off anyway. But in lower elos, this is going to matter a lot because people don't usually pick CC champions as much, and also people don't know how to layer CC. So it's going to mean a bit more in lower elos. But in higher elos, I don't think that's significant at all. Rammus Q CD reduction, I don't think that matters much. Someone told me that it's going to make him OP because he can clear faster. Doesn't make sense at all because you don't use your Q to clear on Rammus usually. 12-second CD is not going to allow you to clear camps with it. Also, it doesn't do much damage to camps anyway. So I think if there's a buff, it'll be a buff on the skirmishing power. You'll probably be able to Q twice in one fight, so you'll be able to chase them a bit more. I think this is helpful for sure in skirmishing because it allows you to kind of... The issue of Rammus is that he's immobile, right? When he uses W and he can't get onto people. So having that kind of leniency of the Q CD reduction will probably help a bit when it comes to assisting your mobility a bit. But I don't think it's going to make him OP or anything. I don't think it's going to make him even A tier, if I'm being honest. RENGAR, this buff is probably, I would say, the most significant in jungle. So they're buffing his armor shred on ult, and they're also buffing his AD scaling on ult for the bonus damage, right? I think this is going to help a lot because the issue of RENGAR last few patches when he was weak was that he would ult someone but not be able to one-shot them like he used to. I think this isn't going to make RENGAR OP, but it's going to definitely bring him back into the meta, at least to be a contending jungler. So I think it's going to make him A tier. Still think he struggles into some of the S tier junglers like Graves, like Skarner, like Viego. I still think he's going to have issue with them, but it's going to help a bit when it comes to... At least if you're going to be ahead against a Viego, you're going to be able to one-shot him. At least if you're going to be ahead against Graves, you're going to be able to one-shot him. But if you're even, I don't know if this buff helps too much because I think the AD damage on your Q was the main issue, but the ult will help a bit, I guess. But yeah, I think the AD damage on Q was also a bit too significant. And I think RENGAR was always fine after 6. Wasn't the best, but before 6, he kind of lost all his early game prowess, which was, I think, the most damaging part of the nerfs they had against him. This Shyvana nerf doesn't matter too much. Magic resist growth, nerf, whatever. E is getting reduced by 10% is going to hurt a lot in the mid game, but is going to take her completely away from the position she's in currently. No, I think she was B tier, and I think she will stay B tier, in my opinion. Skarner, 1% bonus health damage on the Q. Honestly, as someone that plays has Skarner as his most played champion this split, this does not do anything. He still has a lot of CC. He's still going to be OP. One more is going to be Teemo and Zac. Yep. So Teemo, damage against monsters reduced by 25%. Not too big, but I think it's going to hit him a little bit because the reason why he was strong was because he had a high clear speed. Losing that by a bit is going to hurt, but I don't think it's going to make him like unplayable. He just won't be as good, you know. He'll still be around that A tier. Zac, this Q nerf, by the way, does nothing for jungle because you don't use a Q to fight that much anyway. Like you use it once in a fight. Boohoo, 1% scaling on maximum HP is not going to do much, you know. Also, you don't use your Q to clear. So yeah. Items collector increased by 50 gold, whatever. It just means it delays your spikes on, say, Kindred, Kha'Zix, etc. Youmuu's, it's only a nerf to range champions, so don't worry too much if you're a melee player. It's just increasing the cooldown or the duration for its active and the passive, both. Unitails, this is big for Kindred, so I think it's going to put Kindred probably top of A tier, bottom of S tier, somewhere like that. So they're nerfing the price, increasing the flurry duration, and they're also increasing the attack speed you get. No, they're reducing. Sorry, they're reducing the cooldown, and they're increasing the duration of the attacks of the flurry. So you're gonna have 6 seconds of an attack speed buff now, and you're also gonna the CD of it's gonna reduce to 30. But I don't think the CD of it was too big of an issue because you had the auto CD reduction on it anyway. So, oh no, those were the changes. Now we're going to the tier list. I've changed a few things. The biggest change would be that Skarner is number 3 now. I honestly think this is interchangeable, but I had him as number 1 last patch. I think number 3 is pretty fair. The Q nerf didn't do, it's not like it didn't do anything, but it did a little bit. So I think Graves is going to be a bit better now. Also, I think Graves, having played last patch, I think Graves was a must ban for me. As someone that doesn't play Graves, I think it was very OP. So I think Graves is probably the best jungler in the game right now. I think Viego second is pretty fair. Him or Skarner could be there, but I think Viego is just better to carry on. Skarner is very good to carry on, by the way. I saw someone have Skarner as C tier. Have you lost your mind, mate? That champion has infinite CC. He can 1v9 the fight with, in terms of damage. He can soak up all enemy team's damage. Skarner is completely OP, by the way. If anyone says he's below S tier, he's a fraud. Like, that guy does not know anything about the game. Trust me. The other things would be Teemo. I'm going to move him a bit lower, probably below Brand. He's kind of just like a Brand. Same thing as Brand. I don't think Teemo's better than Brand. Right? Especially after these nerfs. So I think he's in the fair spot. Also, if you notice, I took Rengar from B tier, middle of the pack, to A tier. I think he really is that much better now. Kha'Zix, I moved him from top of A tier to mid A tier. I think as I said, the early skirmishing power being removed is going to be very annoying to play with. I think he could even be B tier, but I think Kha'Zix as a champion is just easier to play, so people are going to have more success on it. So I'm not ready to put him in B tier yet, but he definitely could be B tier if he wasn't like easier to play. What other changes were there? I think that was about it. Oh, Zac, I didn't change him, by the way, because the Q nerf does nothing, as I said. Siobhan, I moved him down 2 pegs below Sejuani, below Sas and Lee Sin. I think he's still strong, still playable. Not strong, playable, but he's not A tier or S tier for sure. And also the main change, Kindred is moved up to top of A tier. He was around B tier, low A tier before, but I think he's top of A tier now. Could even be above Zac. I'm not sure. We'll have to play it to know. A Kindred video will be coming out in a few days. It will just be me playing it, trying out the new Yuntal buffs, and also cooking up a build for it. So stay tuned for that. Appreciate you all for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Join Discord if you want coaching. I offer that as well. Follow me on Twitch, and yeah, peace. I stream there every day. Love you all.